our culture, especially in our tradition buildings like royal palaces and temples. They all have this type of little bridge. This bridge plays as a boundary separating inner sacred place and ordinary outside. So the idea of water is, before entering the sacred place, clean your body and mind. All right, let's move on.
Que para limpiar
Hey, everybody look at the baby Buddha's smile. It looks like it brings you mercy, doesn't it? Right? Especially today, there is a special ceremony in this temple. Once every month, the ceremony happens. Today is that day. Okay, this is the main core, the heart of spiritual center. This temple was built in 1910. Not that old. Like I told you, like most massive temples, they can be found in the remote mountain areas. It's much better, right? Yeah. Okay, Buddhism came to Korea during the 4th century. And since then, it remained as a dominant religion, deeply influencing many aspects of Korean lifestyles. Okay? It had been just a dominant religion just before the establishment of the last dynasty, Joseon Dynasty. Okay? But with the establishment of the Joseon Dynasty's rulers, they started to suppress Buddhism because, during the previous dynasty, kings and nobles, they strongly supported Buddhism. So Buddhist temples, Buddhist monks, hi, join us. Hi, nice to meet you. Okay, so during the previous dynasty, the kings and nobles, they strongly supported Buddhism. So Buddhist monks, they gained political power. And Buddhist temples, they accumulate a great wealth. So Buddhist monks, they enjoyed luxurious life. Some monks were criticized for avoiding taxes and taking lands unfairly. And even they were involved with bribery and corruptions. So, Joseon Dynasty rulers, they believe Buddhism was the main source of social problems. So they started to, establish the new state ideology, like national philosophy, Confucianism. So they studied press and they rejected thoroughly Buddhism. So since then, the Joseon Dynasty's government, they drove all Buddhist temples and monks deep remote into mountain areas. So that's why in Korea, most all passive temples can be found in the mountain areas. Okay? And this temple is very, very significant. Like I said, it placed as a headquarters of the biggest Buddhist sector. So that's why every 5 years we have a presidential election, right? Okay, before the presidential election, all presidential candidates, they join the special ceremony in this temple. And they join and they have a conversation with ordinary people right in this temple. So the most vibrant moment in this temple is around Buddha's birthday. So every single year, Buddha's birthday falls in May. So on Buddha's birthday, not only these temple grounds, but whole street, they were filled with very, very vibrant and colorful lanterns. Okay? Okay, foreground is that decorated with the lanterns. And another vibrant moment is around Christmas. You feel a little bit strange, right? Oh, temple's Christmas? There's no connection, right? But on Christmas Eve, this temple invites children choir. So the children dress in Santa Claus and they sing Christmas songs together. Some people think, oh, it's weird, it's a little bit strange, but I believe that it's a beautiful integration to religions, Christianity and Buddhism. So all people, even though they are not religious or Seoul citizens, they can be invited to this temple and they enjoy the beautiful moment. All right. Okay. Now let's go to the Royal Palace. Watching, you can meet me at the gate. Okay? That gate. That gate, okay? After watching,
지금 두 수문장이 군호와 수문장패를 통해 서로의 신분을 확인하고 굴레를 주고받습니다.
The gate guards are now checking each other's identity and exchanging salutes.
现在，两位守门将互相确認身份，互敬軍禮。
両수문장がお互いの身元を確認した後、軍礼を交わします。
조선시대 수문장은 궁궐문과 도성문을 지키는 최고 책임자이자 왕실과 나라를 지키던 중요한 직책이었습니다. 조선시대의 법전인 경국대전에 따르면 경복궁의 정문인 광화문을 하수하는 군사들은 약 70여 명으로 경주에서 갑사, 대졸, 정병을 선발하여 지키게 했다고 합니다. 수문장의 구령에 맞추어 좌문 대졸들이 이상 없음을 보고하고 기수가 깃발로 신호를 합니다.
수문 점거하라.
수문장의 구령에 맞추어 우문 대졸들이 이상 없음을 보고하고 기수가 깃발로 신호를 합니다.
블루 앞으로 더.
점고를 마친 교대 수문장은 각 문의 이상 유무와 교대 상태를 확인하기 위해 광화문으로 이동하고 근무를 마친 당직 수문장은 퇴장 준비를 위해 흥례문앞 광장으로 이동하고 있습니다.
After a smooth shift change, the two gate guards are now moving to prepare for duty and leave.
接到交接任务顺利完成的报告后，两位守门将正分别前往各自的位置，准备执勤与退场。
勤務交代が無事に完了し、その報告を受けた両ソムンジャンが勤務の準備と退場のため移動しています。
전관 호! 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 계속 호! 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 수문관을 정리하라. 전체 세워 이.
이제 당직 수문군의 퇴장을 알리는 큰 복을 치겠습니다.
Drum beats will signal the end of the guard changing ceremony.
现在击鼓鸣示，结束守门将换岗儀式。
それでは交代儀式の終了を告げる太鼓が打たれます。
대구 3 타 문군 호! 호!
그 저희 들었던 지팡이 두 분.
지금 13분은 있어요?
네.
Hello guys, come closer. Okay, I'm going to explain about this palace using these two maps, okay? Here are two maps. Look at these two maps. What is the big difference, do you think? This is the original one. This is the current one. Big difference is, this royal court was packed with buildings, and this is not, okay? This royal palace was built in 1395. And when it was built, the palace ground was packed, just literally packed, okay? But there was a huge, devastating war against Japan in 1592. And during the war, whole buildings were burned down. And this palace remained ruins for more than 200 years, 270 years. Because back then the country was facing very hardships, economical and political hardships. They couldn't afford to rebuild these buildings. And in 1865, whole buildings were restored. But hey, do you know Korea was colonized by Japan, right? Okay, from 1910. And was under Japanese colonial rule till 1945. It was an incredibly difficult time for 35 years, okay? So during the Japanese colonial period, 90% of the buildings were demolished again. Sad, right? And the good news is from early 1990s, restoration work has started. And right now, 40% of the buildings were restored, and the restoration work is still going on. And in Joseon Dynasty's royal palaces, right in the center, there is a main throne hall. So from the first gate to get to the main throne hall, they had to pass through 3 gates for security. So this is the first gate. The performance happened. And this is the second gate we passed through. And that is the third one. Look at that. So that is the third one we have to pass through to get to the main front hall. And this is the most important, most formal structure in this palace ground. And we are checking these beautiful buildings. And these buildings, and we are heading to the Korean National Folk Museum. Unlike other countries, like many countries, royal palaces are still in use, so we cannot get in. But this palace is empty, so we can get in and we can check out every corner. Okay? Right. Thank you, and welcome to the royal palace. Okay, let's go. This is type of bridge. The stream has almost dried up, but back then water used to flow here. So the idea of water is what? The idea. Okay, that's right. So, inner sacred place where king resided, and outer ordinary, place. So before entering the sacred place, the idea of water was cleansing your mind and body to respect and honor. Okay? All right, let's go on. Hey everybody, look at Look at the building and look at the royal court. And this is the largest and most formal structure in this royal court. And here inside the building and outside the building, most important state affairs, state ceremonies used to be held here, like royal coronation and receptions for foreign envoys. Okay? Everybody look at the path. Look at this path leading to the main throne hall. This path is divided into 3 sections. Do you see that? Okay? Hey, look at the center one. Center one is a little bit escalated. Do you see? Center one is a little bit escalated, okay? This center one was exclusively reserved for the king. And both sides were for officials. So, one of the officials accidentally stepped on the center path.
Oh no.
He used to be punished with 80 times of lashes, but that was very serious. That could lead to death, right? But today, we are kings and queens. We can walk on the center path, showing full of swagger. Okay? Right, let's try walking on the center path. Go. And guys, please take a picture. You can take a picture here. I'm gonna show you this video. This building. This building. This building. So in this royal palace, this kind of music performance and national, international brands like Gucci and those kind of luxurious brand, they have a fashion shows here. Okay, yeah, and then
Do dramas get filmed here?
yeah, dramas filmed here, and Jimmy Fallon show, they have a performance here, so very internationally famous. Hey, everybody, look at this. Hey, here is one line of stone markers, and there is another one. There is another line of stone markers. Okay, what do you think? What do you think they were? Okay, make a guess. Some tourists make a guess like, oh, are they gravestones? Hell no. Okay, actually they were ranking stones. Hey, during the Joseon Dynasty, state ideology and national philosophy was Confucianism. Confucianism strongly emphasized like social hierarchy and respect for authority. So inside the building and outside the building, whenever they gathered for state ceremony, their sitting position and their standing positions were strictly determined by their rankings. So higher their ranking, the closer to the king. Okay? And hey, look, that direction is the east. And this direction was the west. And there were 2 kinds of officers, civil officers and military ones. And civil officers were placed on the east, and military ones were placed on the west. What is the big difference? What is the difference, do you think? No, right? Okay. In Confucian principles and East Asian thinking, the east, where the sun rises, was considered more honorable and more auspicious direction. So, civil officers were considered more highly educated people. So actually the government was run by civil officials, not military ones, okay? So they were placed on the east. During the Joseon Dynasty, their political system was quite solid. two different hierarchies, they kept in each other in check. And the king was no exception. Absolutely, the king was the most important, most powerful person, but he was continuously monitored by the officials. That means he couldn't always have everything his way, right? Okay. And this royal palace was not the place where king lived alone. More than 2,000 people lived in this palace, from the court ladies, engineers, and doctors and scholars. So each one was an expert in their field, okay? So Royal Palace was like a national talent hub in their special field, like technology and like, culture and labor. All right? Okay, let's move on. Hey guys, hey, this is the best angle for pictures with this beautiful structure. Hey, this is the best angle. Okay, everybody's here? All right, everybody look at this building. Whenever I look at this building, I feel very, very sorry because this building is underrated by international visitors, but even by local people. But I believe this building is the most important building because this building is the birthplace of the Korean alphabet. Hey, can you see the letters?
Yeah.
They are not Korean alphabet, they are Chinese characters. Hey, before the invention of the Korean alphabet, we had to borrow and use Chinese characters. But the problem was Chinese characters was extremely difficult for ordinary people. So ordinary people, they could speak, but they were not able to read or write. So they couldn't express their own thoughts and opinions in a proper way. So the King Taejo, hey, how many kings did I tell you there were? Do you remember? 27, thank you. Right, there were 27 kings, okay? Hey, this is a Korean currency. This is the fourth king. His name was King Taejo, okay? In 1443, he and his team of scholars, they invented Korean alphabet in this place, in this very building. Chinese characters are very, very difficult. So Chinese characters became a tool for, high-class people to keep their privileges and to keep power. So before the invention of Korean alphabet, the high-class people, they did everything they could to stop the invention. They probably didn't want to share their privilege and power with ordinary people. But King Taejo, he realized how important the education of ordinary people, and he realized how important to have a conversation with ordinary people to develop the country. So, he and his team of scholars, they developed and researched it and developed and researched it. They spent years. And finally, in 1443, they invented the Korean alphabet. Korean alphabet is very, very easy and scientific and beautiful, unique language. So thanks to their efforts, now we can use our beautiful language. Very, very important building. Take a picture, please. How many characters? 14 consonants and 10 vowels. Banquet hall. Ultimate party place, like a dancing club today. This pavilion was very, very private and exclusive. And only people who are invited by the king, they were allowed inside. So, most people, they could just imagine, and they were dying to know what is happening inside. Hey, look at these traces. Hey, everybody, look at these traces. These are traces of the high wall. The wall was higher than this tree. Completely. The building itself was completely surrounded by this high wall. So nobody could inside. Here's an interesting story. One night, one of the officials, he couldn't hold his curiosity back. And he sneaked up and he climbed up the high wall to peek inside. He was looking at inside. Things were beautiful. Beautiful music and beautiful dancing and beautiful women. They were having a party with the king. He was very, very mesmerized. So he couldn't notice some security officers approaching. So one security officer shouted at him, "Hey, what are you doing up there?" And he was startled and he lost his balance and he fell off the wall. He immediately was dragged to be punished. But the king, hearing about this, actually found it very interesting. And he just laughed and asked the officials to recite one passage from the Confucian classics. But the guy, without hesitation, he recited not one passage, whole passages in front of the king. So the king was very, very impressed by his knowledge and by his quick wit. So instead of punishing him harshly, the king promoted him by one rank. But he didn't stop there. He pushed it forward himself. And he studied again and again and again. Right? So finally he reached to the point where he was invited to the party. It was a very inspirational story, right? This is a true story. Okay, take a picture.